welcome back. So, today we're diving into a single verse from an ancient epic, but the real battle we're looking at, it's not one fought with swords and arrows. Nope, it's all happening in the mind. Let's dig into how a conflict can be won or lost long before the first weapon is ever raised.
Okay, so picture this. We're on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Prince Duryodhana is looking out at these two massive armies, and you can just feel the tension, right? So what does he do to handle the pressure? He starts listing out the names of his most powerful warriors.
And you know, this is way more than just taking attendance. It's a full-on pep talk for himself and for his commanders. By naming his heavy hitters, he's basically reminding everyone, hey, look at the power we've got. It's a classic move to calm a nervous mind. You count what you've got going for you.
Now, in the last few verses, we saw him pinpoint the main threats on the other side and then counter by naming his own champions. But now, the list gets longer and a lot louder. It's almost like he's trying to shout down his own internal fear by just listing more and more names.
And that brings us to the verse for today. First, I'll read it in Sanskrit. Kāśyaś parameṣvāsaḥ, śikhaṇḍī mahārathaḥ, dhṛṣṭadyumno, virāṭaś, sātyakiś, cāparājitaḥ.
And in English, it goes, and also the king of Kashi, the excellent archer, and śikhaṇḍī, the great chariot warrior, and dhṛṣṭadyumno, and virāṭa, and sātyakiś, the unconquered. Now, here's what's so interesting about this. It's not just who he's naming, it's how he's naming them. He's attaching their reputations to their names, and that is absolutely a deliberate choice.
So you might be asking, why does this list even matter? It's just a roll call, right? Well, no. What Duryodhana is doing here is actually a really important psychological move. Let's break down what's really going on. Just look at the descriptions he's using. He doesn't just say the king of Kashi. No way. He calls him parameṣvāsaḥ, the excellent archer. śikhaṇḍī is a mahārathaḥ, a great chariot warrior. And sātyakiś, he's cāparājitaḥ, the unconquered one. He's literally speaking their legends into existence on the battlefield. You know, the great philosopher Śaṅkarācārya pointed this out centuries ago. He said this is a classic move for building confidence. When you feel like the ground is shaking beneath your feet, what do? You start counting the things that feel solid. It's your mind trying to find an anchor in the middle of a storm. So you see this really human thing happening, right? It's a story playing out in his own head. He sees the threat, he feels that deep uncertainty, and then his instinct kicks in. Start listing your strengths. He's building up the confidence he needs to actually step into the fight. And here's the thing, this isn't just some ancient battle tactic that's lost to time. Not at all. It's something we do every single day in our own modern lives. I mean, think about it, right? When we're feeling a little shaky, we do the exact same thing. A company about to give a huge pitch will list its top clients. A leader before a tough negotiation will name their biggest allies. And you, before a job interview, you're mentally running through your resume, right? It's all about finding solid ground. And that right there, that just perfectly captures this basic human need to find stability before we have to face chaos. That's the power, the real psychological depth that's packed into this one little verse. It's a blueprint for turning anxiety into action. Okay, so Duryodhana's done his mental prep work. He's used names, reputations, all of it, to steel himself. But words aren't going to be the only thing filling the air for much longer. So, what comes next? Well, this battlefield, which has been eerily quiet so far with all this unspoken tension, it's about to absolutely erupt. For the very first time, we're going to hear something. So, the big question is, how does the sound of one single conch shell change absolutely everything? We're going to dive into that next time, when the first instruments of war are sounded and this epic conflict officially begins.